सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome all the devotees for the ISKCON Columbus Sunday feast. I believe the time there is around 11:30 in the morning, and
Yes, Prabhu.
all the devotees that are assembled on Zoom and those who are watching from YouTube. My sincere welcome to each and every one of you, and also seek blessings from the devotees that I can speak something worthwhile. Hope this talk itself is not a setback for you, that you expected something wonderful and it wasn't. So request all devotees blessings that something worthwhile that will be beneficial for each and everyone's spiritual growth is shared here. And of course, the times that we are going through is unprecedented, and it is bringing out different kinds of emotions, and the whole our whole perception is challenged about life, about our own worth in this whole world. And just I was on another call along with Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, where all the Chopati devotees were meeting him and discussing. And one of the discussions was how, now that families are staying together, unlike before. It is said that before COVID happened, uh, families were like solar systems, where everybody was moving in their different orbits, and so once in a while there was an eclipse. Once in a while, the family, the husband, wife, and the child, they all used to actually come in alignment and we say meet together, discuss. And this COVID seems to be like an eclipse for 6 months, or that we are all being together. There is no movement. Unlike the solar system where it is moving, there is no movement, and we are all just there in one place. And in some ways, it has been very useful, to cultivate uh, relationships. But in other ways, it's been quite, especially if the relationships are not smooth, to be able to stay, like in India, in small places for months together, seeing the same face, and not able to go out. So it's challenging, and this is a great setback that the whole world is facing. And in this big setback, we are individually also, we are all facing challenges. I know there were some devotees that uh, went through professional challenges. Either their job was at stake, or they were given very high targets to be able to stay in the job. I know some that had planned out their academics, their exams, and all of that, went for a toss. I know some poor people, they couldn't afford to, have a laptop or a phone to actually attend online classes for their children, and they were trying to see how can they, ensure that children's education goes forth smoothly. So in this way, we are all in the temple, the ISKCON temples now. Most of the funding comes from, devotees coming and offering donations, and not having any donations. So many temples had to uh, put it online for fundraising, GoFundMe, and different things. So in all spheres of life, there has been say setback, something that we didn't perceive. And to take this topic in the scriptural light, I want to take a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter, verse number 30. So let's chant this verse. Uh, so, so I'll chant and I will assume that you're all chanting after me, uh, each line, or else if the facility is there, you can unmute and chant after once I chant each line. Okay. न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुं
न च
न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुं
शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम्
भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
विपरीतानि केशव
विपरीतानि केशव
विपरीतानि केशव.
विपरीतानि केशव
So I'll also put up the word to word. Na nor cha also shaknomi am I able avasthatum to stay bhramati forgetting Iva as cha and may my manah mind nimittani causes cha also pashyami I see viparitani just the opposite Keshava O killer of the demon Keshi Krishna. Translation: I am unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. Let's take the purport. And due to his impatience, let me maximize it. Due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield and he was forgetting himself on account of this weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. Bhayam Dutivaabhiniveshasya Bhagavatam 11:237. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by material conditions, as we are all affected by conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The words nimittani viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self interest by Krishna's will. One's real self interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battlefield, in the battle, would only be a cause of lamentation for him. So, one of my favorite verses from the first chapter of the Gita, where Arjuna uh, he is showing astonishment about what he's seeing on the battlefield, and because for last so many years they have been preparing, especially Arjuna had been preparing to be in that situation where he could regain his rightful inheritance or their property. But when he sees the whole battlefield, then all types of thoughts start to come, especially he starts to see that no, I thought the activity or the way I'm going to live my life or plan my plans is going to bring me happiness, is going to bring me what I would like to have. But now the same plan that I made for my life, say either a career or whatever we want to do, it seems to be giving the exact opposite result. Nimittani and viparitani. And Prabhupada especially mentions that what we think is nimitta, a tool for my happiness, a tool for my stability, turns out to be viparitani, exact opposite, a reversal, a setback, something that we didn't expect. That this relationship, this person, this situation, I thought is going to give me happiness. But instead of giving me that success or happiness, it's in fact draining my energy. It's uh, taking out all my peace of mind. And this kind of situation is what is a setback, where you see things that are unexpected, and when you see that those things that you never expected will happen with you, then you start to go into uh, moroseness or depression, or as Arjuna is going here, that he is unable to fight. And he's saying here that he uses this word avasthatum. Avasthatum means, like, avastha means no, our situation. And Arjuna here is saying that I cannot even stay here anymore. I need to just get out of the situation. And when does one feel that? When usually when we face a situation that is not to our liking, usually we try to adjust that situation, no, try to make it favorable. Say you go and sit in a chair on a bus or in a theater, and you see it is uncomfortable. Initially, you try to adjust or see if you can make it comfortable. But when you realize that that seat is totally uncomfortable, then you can't stay on that seat anymore. You have to change the seat. Same way, Arjuna here is saying that this situation in which I had planned, which I had landed myself in, worked so hard, I cannot even stay here. And that's what najas shaknomi avasthatum. Uh, and why cannot I stay here? Because brahmativa, my mind is just reeling. That my mind is not able to accept the situation. That this is not what you came for, and this is not what I will allow you to do. Because what the mind thought of will be the way it will be. And mind you, Arjuna is here not afraid of the difficulty of the situation. He has faced all these Kauravas before, single-handedly. He defeated all of them in the Virat Parva, when no, he had to uh, reclaim all the cows that were stolen by the Kauravas. So he had faced all the Kauravas single-handedly, and now here he has support of 7 Akshavini Senas, and he also has Krishna with him. So it's not the difficulty that was a challenge for him. It was the purpose, because the purpose for which he was there, and the result that it seems to be was not matching, and therefore he is getting bewildered. He is losing his mind. He's seeing that this as a setback, that the exact opposite, that as they say, man proposes and God disposes. That you feel that life, the vacation is going to be in that particular way. I'm going to go to Hawaii, or say some wonderful place, and it's going to be a gala time. And instead of a gala time, you realize the flight was late, and then when you land in that place, it's very sultry hot. And because of all the different protocols now, the security clearance, all that is taking so much more time. And the whole vacation turned out to be such a drain of energy, rather than actually something rejuvenating. And so many times in our life we face this, that there is a whole fantasy that is created in our minds about a situation that will give us success, that will give us promise, a happiness. And as we start to settle in that situation, we start to see that this is not actually what I fantasized, what the movie showed me, what my mind thought of, or what I expected. like when I was studying for entering into IIT. Of course, it was heavy studies, and then no, the only thing you want to is I just want to be there. I just want to be in that campus. And then once you're in that campus, you start to feel okay. Now it's all done. That now you're here, and you just try to you feel you're on cloud nine, have everything. But then slowly you realize that there are so many others who are also there, and especially when results starts to come, instead of getting 95% or your top grades, now you are struggling to even pass the exams because of the standard of the education or whatever. And so very soon that same situation that was a dream come true, the dream becomes a nightmare, and you lose your sleep. You become so anxious because now you cannot really tell others you're back home, or the pressures that you're facing. It also happens with the relationship or a job you enter, or say you move to a new country. Initially it is the honeymoon period, but after the honeymoon period comes the struggle period, where you see that nimitani cha pashyami viparitani keshava, that it is no more no a catalyst for my growth, but it is actually an inhibitor, something that is inhibiting something that is stopping me from this, from going ahead. So from this wonderful purport of Srila Prabhupada, I just want to highlight few important words, and from this we can know how do we handle setbacks, and also some episodes from the Mahabharata, from the life of the Pandavas. We'll also share discuss that. So one of the first things that struck me was Arjuna. The whole uh, problem was nimittani cha pashyami. Arjuna uses this word pashyami. Pashyami means I am seeing, and uh, it is said, and if devotees want, they can note down some code, some sutras that are very important for us to know, apply, or be aware of. So the sutra for observation is that how you observe determines what you experience or what you feel. I'll repeat: how you observe determines what you feel. And here Arjuna's observation was based on his own plans and his own uh, everything about his relationships with everyone. And there is a wonderful episode about observation that comes in the Mahabharata. This is the first instance that Krishna actually meets the Pandavas. This is at the Draupadi Swayamvara, and it was a excellent gathering of all royal order. The kings from all over the planet had come, because Draupadi, she was the most beautiful mistress lady that existed then, and everybody just wanted to have her. And so literally everyone came, and also Krishna and Balram came. And that was a time when the Pandavas had just escaped the heat of the Varnavata. They were attempted to be burnt alive, and it was quite a trauma. And because of the trauma that Pandavas went through, and so many other traumas that the Kauravas tried to put upon them, they were extremely uh, upset, and just, as they say, dil ut gaya. In Hindi they say that their heart was totally broken from the way the Kauravas tried to deal with the Pandavas. And it's very extremely difficult to be in a place where you are not liked, where you are hated. That's why in ISKCON temples, when people come, one of the most uh, attractive things is how people value anyone that comes, and or something to connect to a new person. And when people don't find that it's a, it's a monotonous place, it's nobody actually cares for you, everybody is just rushing for getting their first prasadam plate, otherwise the sweet will get over or different things, then people don't genuinely feel that they belong to that place or there is any point in going there. But when people feel that, yeah, this is a place where I am wanted, I am I'm accepted, no matter how I dress and what I dress, then slowly people start to come more and more. This story comes in, I think Prabhupada's time in some temple. There was a lady that had come with no mini skirt, and when Prabhupada met her, Prabhupada didn't mention about her dressing or anything. But there were other devotees that took quite objection, try to correct her or uh, tell her what is the proper etiquette to in which you go, you come to the temple. But of course, because this lady had not yet uh, become a devotee or had that trust or a relationship, she took this as an insult or as a kind of a cult where they have a set norms, and if somebody doesn't subscribe to those norms, then they are not properly accepted. But because Prabhupada was so kind to her, and she continued, and after a while, she herself understood the reason why such kind of dressing is inappropriate, and she herself changed her style of dressing. And then of course Prabhupada appreciated that, he noted that. But before that, even in any situation that a person came, uh, like in 26 Second Avenue, people were coming with all kinds of attire and state of mind. So most people were intoxicated or on high on drugs, and in spite of what kind of person that came, it was how you see is what you feel. Is it the external things that you are seeing, or is it that person's the core substance that he a soul is coming? And Prabhupada in his Jaladuta diary or his initial diaries, he writes that today somebody came, they ate the prasadam and they really liked the prasadam, and I feel that this person will make gradually great progress in bhakti, just because they like the taste of, say, rasgulla or whatever was fed. And because how you see is what you feel. And so so all the kings had come there to get Draupadi, and Krishna and Balram also had come, and the Pandavas, who had just come from this extreme trauma of where they were attempted to be killed so many times, they just had resigned themselves that no more, nothing to do anymore with kingship, kingdoms or royal order, because we had grown up in the Himalayas like Brahmanas. So let's continue that, because there was more peace, and there was no kind of all this complexities, politics being played around us won't be there. So they had come to Vira Panchala Desh in the route to escape. And if Hastinapur is near Meerut, and Indraprastha is what is Delhi. Of course, in the Pandavas had escaped, there was no Indraprastha, but near Meerut, that Hastinapur was there. And Varnavata, from where they escaped, was a little up. And from there, even higher, because they didn't want to walk towards the Kaurava side, they wanted to escape ahead. And therefore, they went even ahead. And ahead of Varnavata comes the Panchaladesh, and Panchaladesh is today's Punjab. And the very word Punjab is Pancha, and there are 5 rivers there. Therefore, the name has come as Punjab. And same with Panchala also refers to the same. And so the Draupadi was a Punjabi lady, and we know all respects to all ladies, but Punjabi ladies are somehow very strongly determined and have great willpower. They are very kshatriya in their outlook. So the Pandavas had just gone to Punjab, to Panchaladesh, and they just wanted to not do anything with these kingdoms or trying to get their place back, and they just got settled in a potter's house, and the and they were just living by begging, and they just thought this is how they are going to live. And Krishna and Balaram had come to the arena of Draupadi Swayamvar specifically to select a proper candidate for their mission to establish dharma, because that was the one place, like nowadays we have YouTube as the arena where all different powerful speakers or communicators assemble, and they display their talent. So those days there was no YouTube to display the talent. There was, say, the arena of the Swayamvar, where the challenge was there, that who will aim that fish reflection, looking at the fish, looking at the reflection, and not just looking at the reflection, but that it was moving. The fish was moving round and round, and not just that, it was not fully uh, open. There was uh, covering, so only in very 2 3 instances there were holes by which the arrow could pass, and there had to be extreme eye and hand coordination, and great skill of archery to be able to actually pierce. And most didn't even see what is the process to get Draupadi. Most people just wanted Draupadi, and this is how most people live their lives, is that they are attracted by the results of some achievement, but they don't see the hard work that is involved in achieving that. And say, as Ravindra Swarup Prabhu points this out, most uh, most people want the results of purity without going through the hard work of purification or the process of purification. We see some wonderful devotees speaking excellently, or someone bringing nice donations, or doing some excellent work, or his own sadhana is just sitting and absorbed in the holy names. We see that, but we don't see how did that person achieve that. And therefore how we see is what we feel. Do we see just the results and we are attracted by the results? And Arjuna here, in one way, he was all the time, how what was he seeing? uh, he was seeing at that I want to be, we want to have the kingdom, and we want to be established as the ruler, not mainly for themselves, but to establish dharma. But to get Draupadi, to get the kingdom, there is a process, there is a challenge. And most people don't see the challenge, and when they do face the challenge, they feel it as a setback. They take back, they step back. And so many times, either we know just are mediocre because we somehow entered the wrong field or wrong kind of service, and being attracted, okay, this will bring me close to my guru, or bring me some kind of a result, or say I'll get a lot of mahaprasad if I do this service. But what is that service? How difficult is that? And is that service something that uh, truly matches you or your potential? We don't see that. And because we don't see that, and like Arjuna here, we get bewildered. we lose our enthusiasm because we get attracted by seeing the results, not actually getting attracted to the process. And so many times, even in bhakti, that's what happens. And the whole attempt of sadhana is somehow or other to get a taste in the process, because to be attracted to the spiritual world, of course it motivates us, but the main hard work is to somehow excel and get taste in the sadhana, in the process that we are doing, and to acquire the required skills to actually excel in that. So it's explained in the Mahabharata. Most kings just got attracted to Draupadi and they just wanted, like, somehow I want to achieve that. I some years back, I had seen a poster where the different there were different achievements, different uh, uh, athletes had got. Somebody got seven gold medals, somebody got so much money. And then there was the photo of Abhishek Bachchan. And I believe many of you are Indians here. So the photo of Abhishek Bachchan was there. And what did he achieve in his life? He achieved Aishwarya Rai. Of course, this is a mundane example, but just to make a point of the psychology that was there. And so all of them, all the others, they achieved, say, some money or some kind of fame. And there was this guy who was actually in kind of losses when they had started this whole company called as ABCL, Amitabh Bachchan Corporation Limited. But then somehow or other, either through fate or through luck or genuine attraction, he had achieved not Draupadi, Aishwarya Rai, now claimed to be one of the most beautiful women in the world. And the caption said, which achievement do you value more in your life? Is it people or is it possessions? And even when we value people, is that person actually valuing the position of beauty or the position of character and the connection that is there? And if it is just based on the position of beauty or character, or just the fame or the money that is there with that person, then it will fade away very soon, and then will be conflicts. I was just sharing yesterday that a young lady had married an old man. A 20-year-old had married an 80-year-old, and she was asked, and her friends were asking, "Why did you marry? What did you see in this old man that you married him?" So this is a Hindi joke. I don't know. I don't know if you Hollywoodists can get it. So she said, "First I saw his income, then I saw his din come." दिन कम मतलब उनका दिन कम है. He has very less days to live. He's already a grand old man. He may die anytime. And once he dies, once his din come, then once he dies, as his widow, I'll get all the income, all the money that he has. And then I can live. And many times we try to bond with different people or situations, just seeing the product and not the process. And so so in the ancient example, uh, this is what everybody was aiming. Everybody wanted that Aishwarya Rai, wanted that Draupadi to have with them, but nobody really pondered, do they have the required skill or the required capacity to handle it? And the Pandavas were in that same kingdom, in the same capital of Panchala Desh, and Krishna sends Narada Muni to inspire them to at least come and be in that arena. Just participate, just be there in the section of the Brahmanas. Anyway, you're not dressed as Kshatriyas, and you anyway are not wanting to come out into the limelight. And just be around, just just shadow it, just be in the shadows, if not, if you want to be in the full light. And the Pandavas accepted. It was coming from Narada Muni, so they accepted and they went, and they were sitting in this assembly, in this arena, where all different no kings were coming, and they were trying to no uh, p- show off their strengths, their skills in trying to lift. Some didn't even couldn't even approach the target, or approach that bow. That bow was also a very divine bow, given by Lord Shiva, so it was not easy to even face it. And so some couldn't even, so this they some most couldn't even face the bow or lift the bow. And almost everybody failed, all the kshatriyas. Uh, Nobody was successful. And when this happened, there was all the all the audience and Drupada Maharaj himself feeling very despondent, and was saying, "Is there no Kshatriya alive today that can do this feat?" And all the general population was feeling that if there are no powerful Kshatriyas to do these kinds of feat, can we actually depend on them to protect? What if tomorrow somebody comes who is very powerful, and we on the face of the earth there is no one who is actually powerful to protect us? So there was a great crisis that was created, of trust, of leadership, that the people were starting to lose faith in the leadership, that leaders don't have enough strength. And this is one of the main things that is there, that visibility of leadership qualities is very important for someone to feel that faith in the leader. If the leader just chants his rounds nicely but is not visible to people, or is not available to people, then people may just make guesses, or they start to make all kinds of theories. So therefore visible leadership is always very inspiring and a very important aspect. And so Arjuna here was especially starting to become restless, although they had resigned themselves because of a setback that they had, because they faced such a heat. Now often when you face heat, you just go into your own groove or your own cave. You just retire. You don't want to face the heat again. And Pandavas were like that they just faced the setback, and they just didn't want to again come up to that arena. But it was Krishna who so very intelligently inspired them by their own elements that they had of uh, being kshatriya, by putting them in that environment where that energy is reactivated. And sometimes when we see devotees are depressed, or we just try to pep them up completely back to their normal, rather than okay, if you're not feeling like doing that, at least be around, just keep coming, just absorb the energy, and slowly as you feel inspired, you can take up different challenges or whatever services. And so this was a very brilliant strategy that Krishna used to re-inspire the Pandavas, especially in their confidence, in their abilities, that they could actually fight back. Because of this setback that they had, they also lost their confidence in themselves. And this is what happens many times, that it is not just the setback that is a problem, but the setback often breaks one's confidence in doing anything. Therefore often, if say some boy or some girl, if she fails in one exam, maybe because that subject may not be properly something that they connect with very well, but that setback, what it does is it breaks that confidence that person has in willing to rise up, in willing to fight. And once they start to lose their confidence in their abilities, in their approach, then they start to lose those other things that they were anyway good at. And this is one of the most debilitating things about setback that happens. And there was this guy called as Telokoi from Hungary in 1938. He was a great shooter, and he used to and he was such an expert shooter, like Arjuna, who is an expert archer. He used He was constantly practicing, and it was very well known in Germany and in Hungary that time that he is going to win the Olympics this time. And as he was preparing for the Olympics of 1938, during the practices, suddenly the pistol only the grenade blew up. And when the grenade blew up in the pistol, immediately was unconscious. His whole hand had blown up, and he was, there was surgery that was done. But when he woke up, he saw that his hand, that was his identity, was lost. And so many times, this is what happens: is our identity is based on our activity. We're doing, say, something or other. Say a cricketer, his whole identity is based on his activity. And therefore, although some person may be retired, and even when time of retirement comes, of course I'm not referring here to people like MS Dhoni or any other person, that uh, like say somebody wants who has to retire now, he's 60, 65, but he still wants to go to work, not because it is something, gives him energy, but his whole worth, his whole self-worth is based on him doing some activity and bringing some result out of that activity. And as devotees also, so many times we base our identity based on our activity. I am a dresser, I am a speaker, I am this or I am that. And how you see is what you feel. And if we base our identity just on the activity, we have to do this visualization. Say suppose tomorrow, like that like that shooter in Hungary, you lose that capacity of book distribution, of deity worship, of, say, speaking. I know one devotee who is an excellent singer, but he had polyps in his throat, a kind of cancer, and he couldn't sing. Somebody who was singing every day, he was being invited day in and day out for kirtans, and that was his identity. Suddenly he lost his identity. Of course he didn't lose his identity, he lost his activity. So many times, why do setbacks really trouble us, or really break our confidence? Because our identity is based on our activity. And therefore, Arjuna, Krishna in the Arjuna, he first of all talks about having an identity that is beyond one's activity, that is beyond one's mindset, that is actually your true identity, that is your spirit soul, as an Atman. And if you don't have that, if you don't cultivate that, as we are doing different activities, then when time of death comes, or when we are not able to do any more activity, we will belittle ourselves, we will not put down ourselves, or will not even try to come to forefront. Therefore, Prabhupada, one of his amazing things is that no matter how many setbacks he faced, how many failures he faced, he always saw that failure in a specific situation and never globalized it, never universalized it, or never made it that I am a failure. Yes, I failed in Jhansi. Yes, I failed in my business. But my desire to serve my guru, that is sincere, and I'll keep trying different way or other. Therefore, they say a setback is only a feedback. A setback is only a feedback that this is not how it will work. Maybe you need to change something, or you need to improve something. So this was the first thing about no. So when Pandavas, Arjuna came, he was becoming restless, because that was his area to lift the bow and actually string it, and he was not at all attracted to the results of that achievement. He just wanted to restore people's faith in leadership, and he wanted to do it in an area that is his. As they say, every element is secure in a particular molecule, in a particular setup. So like that, each of us have a different psychophysical nature, and we'll all flourish in different environments. Arjuna's that nature of being a archer genuinely came out because that was a match Bhima didn't feel. And sometimes, with our children, we just don't expose our children to the right arena where their talents will naturally, spring forth. Rather than that, we try to, force themselves to develop, in an area that will, that will get them Draupadi, that will get them what will be, something attractive. So this was one meditation that the one that is about our vision, that how we see is what we feel. And because Arjuna was only seeing, till now he was only seeing the, of course, when it was the Draupadi's case, he didn't see the result, he only saw the process. But in the battlefield, he was actually trying to see Draupadi. He was not his wife Draupadi, but in terms of the what he's going to get. And and I'm only saying this just to understand the human aspect of Arjuna. Of course, Arjuna is a great devotee, and he was only put into this situation to teach all of us a lesson about life, about setbacks that when we face, how do we face, how do we, like Arjuna, he turned to Krishna, he turned to his guide to seek counsel, rather than just depending and trying to work out ourselves. And this happens every day, that when we face some kind of issue, that instead of approaching Krishna, we are just approaching our own intellect. We are just as even as we are sitting and chanting our rounds, the only thing that is going on in our heads is the intelligence is having a dialogue with the mind, that how do we solve this, rather than when you are with Krishna, like Arjuna was with Krishna, when it only turned to Krishna, could he actually get the solution. And that same situation every day morning we face. Are we telling Krishna? Are we ordering Krishna? Krishna, I want, this is my plan, this is what I want you to do. Like all day, like morning times, many devotees have this, that it go, our chanting is like plan making for the day. That is exactly how Arjuna was. He was no he wanted Krishna to take him to the middle of the battlefield so he could see. Or are we trying to take advice from Krishna? Krishna, how would you want me to see this battle? How do you want me to see this day? Give me that vision, because how I see is what I feel, and how I feel and what I feel will what I will act. So therefore, even in our japa session, it's not it if you don't understand this principle, that it's an active uh, you know uh, effort to get prepared for the day, to have the proper vision, to cultivate that relationship, rather, if you don't see in that way, then japa will become a monotonous activity. So we have to fully align. So during the day, so many things disalign ourselves, like the clothes, they all become mushy, or the whole house is in a disarray. But in the morning times, what do you usually know? First thing that we do, we set up the house, we clean up we make the house tidy, whatever uh, got disturbed in the night, we clean up, we clean out the garbage, we put the trash outside. And that's what we need to do with our mind. So and nowadays, with these mobiles, the first thing that we do is we put more trash instead of removing the trash. The morning time is to remove the trash, but rather than that, just like as soon as you wake up, you kind of invite 100 people into your house. Come into my house. So like that, we just invite through mobiles all kinds of people, all kinds of notifications and news about what is happening. And in that, we are burdening more about our vision and our mind, rather than relieving it, so that we could actually see the way Krishna wants us to see. And when we see the setbacks in the proper light, then it's not a setback, but it is a feedback to improve. And the greatest things, and failure is and success are not opposites. Failure is only a step before the success. On the road to success, We have to go through failures. And as one devotee says that the more you fail, the more you will succeed. And if you are afraid to fail, then you'll never succeed, because only on the road of failure will you actually get success, will you get actual but often when we are even afraid to try, because you just don't want to face that failure. And so many times, even with uh, in different service, I say book distribution, we don't want to approach people, because what if he says no, because we don't want to face failure. So whether it be book distribution, whether it be chanting, that we should be ready to face the failure, because every failure will teach us something. And the more we fail, the more we'll learn. It's not consciously trying to fail, but in when we attempt to do it better, you'll see what is going wrong. Only when a cricketer actually plays difficult bowlers, then you'll know where his technique is bad. If he just plays on the streets, he may think he is the best, but when he actually goes on the stage, he'll lose. So same way, life will throw different challenges. So setbacks are only feedbacks. Failure is only a step before the success, as I say, stepping stones to success. So in this way, of course, there are many other things that uh, could be shared from the Mahabharata and from this particular verse, the different points that Prabhupada speaks about, no, this quality of impatience. And he also speaks why are we so impatient with life, and how do we actually cultivate patience in the proper way. Then he speaks about attachment. Then he speaks. So there are different words that are there in this brilliant purport. So please go through the purport of 1.30 and meditate on these words that brilliantly Prabhupada has put there. And each word has such a depth, such a meaning. And when you get get under that and proper understanding from what Prabhupada is saying, then the setbacks, when you face, of course, it's going to be difficult. I'm not saying as a holier than thou. Even when I face setbacks, when somebody criticizes me or anything, I'll also go through those motions. But if we have the proper understanding, at least we know what should be done. And if we have devotees around, then they will at least help us to know to rise back again in situations. So therefore, even as being in the proper association of devotees, that will inspire us to have Narad Muni, people like Narad Muni, that will know tell the Pandavas, at least be in the around devotees, at least be in that arena where you have been. And so we need that kind of counsel, that push. And devotees are very kind of always to give that push. And so that we rise and we handle the setbacks that come. So with these few words, I will stop here and see if any devotees have any questions, because I had seen there were different in the schedule that was sent. There were so many other activities that are lined up, so I don't want to take up time for any of that. And just a note, there were 14 slides that I had prepared, only 7 we could cover. So half the half the thing uh, only could be covered. But whatever it is, the message that I wanted to give is has been given about how do we handle setbacks. Only a few words in the purports I just wanted to highlight and bring out some meaning, which you individually can do. So I thank devotees, Prem Vilas Prabhu, Shribu Chaitanya Prabhu, and Ramesh Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to share some wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Mahabharata, about handling setbacks. And hope it was something worthwhile to meditate and take back. And if there are any questions,
Yeah.
happy to
Thank you,
answer.
Prabhu.
Otherwise, the schedule can continue. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your wonderful class, Prabhu. It is very informative and a different way of approach to say it, how the setbacks are. And I think Rukmini Mataji has a question. So please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the very inspiring and practical class with a lot of insight. So my question is, one thing you described at various points in your class was how people have different propensities, and sometimes the setback can be a sign that what we're doing is not our area of strength, and that there's another area which is where we can shine. So something many people experience in life is that their whole life they've been practicing some target which has been set externally. They've been aiming for something which somebody has said is the best thing to aim for. So they may reach a point where they're not even aware of their own propensities and their own nature and their own strengths and their own likings. So do you have any advice about how people can find their own natures? So that's one question. And then I have a much more technical question, which is that I really liked the way you have your slides coming up next to your image at the same time. So how did you do that?
Okay. I'll answer your second question first, and the the life's question next. So there is a, I always saw this when I had to know start doing a lot of online preaching, that devotees were doing this present PPTs, just not trying to recreate the same environment, but the eye contact is one of the most important in communication. And I saw that if people lose that, no matter how good is the message, people don't connect, especially on online mediums. We are all always occupied in our families, different things. So I did some research, and there is this software called as Prezi.com, Prezi.com, which I have been exploring for a while, because I was anyway being technology in IIT, always interested in technology. That karma is there in me to always see what's the best platforms by which we can reach out to people. And as they said, the medium is the message sometimes, that the medium also carries a weight. So I use this software, and this is one of the most basic versions that I've shared here. It in my other courses I use really graphic, where people actually feel it's like a taking people on a tour rather than being disconnected. So but so
Yeah.
if you
Yes, I've
if
encountered it before, but I didn't know it could interface with this video. I mean, I encountered it
so,
several years ago, so
yeah.
that's really cool. Thank
So
you.
it's Prezi. So those of you are interested, there's a free one and there's a paid one, whichever one. It has helped me to incorporate programs and devotee programs to keep that eye contact with all people. So that's the answer to your second question. To the first question, how does one find one's nature? Many times we kind of living a life without that foundation, like LIFE, without a foundation being true to our nature. It seems to be a lie that you are living an external life that is not really you. And therefore you never feel contentment, although you may achieve so much, as they say, so much achievement, but no fulfillment. And mainly because you're not actually experiencing the element, the swabhava, the swadharma that is being created. And to able to find this, of course, in Kali Yuga, it's explained that Varna Sankara, there is mixture of so many natures. There is so much external imposition of what will bring me success, what may bring me validation. The society itself has started to appreciate wealth or fame, and we also have tried to make ourselves fit that bill, rather than seeing what is truly me. So because of that, everyone has to really excavate their nature. You'll see a lot of dirt as you're excavating, and you have to be willing to remove that till you actually find. So it takes great introspection. And one person that can truly help us in this excavation is our parents, because as a child we don't put up any shows. As we grow up, we start to put up shows, and our smiles also start to go down. But as a children are innocent. And of course, sometimes parents also don't have the time to actually observe the child's intrinsic nature. Right from childhood, maybe from the age of 1 or 2, we start to impose to different things because you want to show your child as a, sorry to say this, as a great devotee or as a great mridang player, rather than trying to help him discover his nature within the realm of bhakti. So but if we can give that space to children and also observe, then children's natures will come out. And if we talk to our parents and have an honest conversation, that what was those things that was something that I like. It is said, if you have to find your element, see what will be that service or that thing where you don't even have to get paid to do that, because you just like so much doing it. It is hard to do, but you still, it drives you. And parents will obviously say, if you are told to paint something, you are very excited. If you are told to garden something, you are very excited. So we can know to some extent, provided parents were around or they had observed us. And apart from that is, anyone that is like a parent, like say we are serving under some teacher and they are observing us, because sometimes just ourselves will not be able to gauge that, but somebody who genuinely has interest in us, not just trying to use us. So it can be our teachers also. Therefore, having a mentor, having a guide, and giving some time to that. And that's one of the things that Prabhupada points out, is that impatience. We just want to click immediately, but it's a patient, it's a very painful work to bring out our true self, or authentic self. And but parents, teachers, and introspection, these three will help us find that, and which is that area where you feel naturally drawn. It's not that there won't be any kind of hard work in that or hardships in that, but instead, as they say, a brahmana is one who is happy to struggle to read. He may be there's so much on, but he accepts that challenge. A kshatriya is one who is happy to accept the challenge of administration. Yes, there is a big event to be organized, it's a lot of hard work for him, but he is happy to take up that challenge. A vaishya, he accepts different type of challenge. If a vaishya person is put in a challenge to read a lot of books, he can't even accept the challenge. It's too much for, it's different for him. So in this way, what is those challenges, what is those things that actually draw you, not because it is easy, but because something that is your core nature. So these introspections and willing to experiment ourselves in different services. Therefore, the best temple is uh, always, or best organizations are those where they expose their employees into all realms of the company, so that each one finds the proper fit, rather than, okay, now that I am assigned to this particular project, I just want to excel here. So same way in temples, if devotees are allowed to explore, or a system is made where devotees can at least get a taste of all, then you don't have to not really tell them. They will find something that will be their nature. I hope that answers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, bro. I didn't see any other hands raised for any questions. Devotees, if you have any questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Ramtit, Prabhu.
This is Ram Tirthada. I don't have a question, but I just wanted to thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu. It was very, very nice and brilliant presentation. Thank you so much for your association.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ramchandra Prabhu. And
Maybe we
my
should
great
continue with
fortune
the
to be
second session. Sorry.
my great fortune to be able to serve and interact with so many Vaishnavas there in Columbus, very close to New Vrindavan. Very you're like Mathura Vasis next to Vrindavan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hopefully we will get more your association, more of your association.
Yes, whenever possible, I will try to again be back to serve. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Hari, you have any question?
No, Prabhu, thank you so much for the lecture. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Hari.
So thank you very much, Prabhu. I think we are done with the questions now.
Yes.
Ramesh Prabhu, you have any closing comments or?
Was Ramesh Prabhu here?
Yeah, he's there in the call, but he's not in the video.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, Prabhu, thank you so
Okay,
much,
thank you.
and
Hare
thank you
Krishna.
for taking time and giving us some association with us. So it's very nice, and hopefully we'll continue with the remaining slides in some other time when you are available
Yes,
for it.
yes, sure, sure. We'll complete it. Haribol.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. It's Grace Braj Mohan Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Prabhu, whenever if you want to feel free. Yes. Hare Krishna devotees. Next part of the program is like we're planning to have a small trailer about His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj in remembrance of his Vyas Puja. Recently, the last week it happened. So we have a planning to have a short video of that. So please stay with me. I'll just share the screen. I hope everybody can able to see this, right?
Yes.
Is audio is available
No.
now?
Seeing and not hearing.
Is the volume came, Mataji, or no?
I'm not hearing anything, only seeing.
Oh. Um, is it okay now?
Still silent.
It's very low. I can hear a little bit, but it's very low.
Yeah, I think that's what we can able to get it, I guess. Yeah, it's full volume, but I think this is what maximum it is. Yeah, I'll anyway play it, so we'll just go ahead with that.
Prabhu, I think it's available on YouTube, right? Maybe can we watch it there or?
Yeah, we can't hear anything.
Yeah. Maybe share the link in the chat box so we can watch it later if you want.
Sorry, bro.
Because we cannot hear anything, so
Oh,
maybe
it's
we can
nothing.
watch it on the YouTube. Yeah. Even
Okay.
the buffering also it's not good. So
Okay. Okay. So maybe I'll stop with that. I don't know why the volume is not coming up properly. Yes, bro. So I just shared the YouTube link for this. So Hari, you want to go ahead with the announcements?
Sure, Prabhu. Let me share my screen.
Yep.
Desktop. Can everybody see Sunday feast announcements? Wait, it's loading.
Yeah, it's loading.
Okay. Can everybody see this?
Yes, now it came.
Okay. Sweet. So here are the Sunday feast announcements for this week. So today's Sunday feast sponsor is Sri Autanu Aich and families. So you can still sponsor Sunday feasts, and it's very it helps our temple a lot. So yeah, so he's the feast sponsor. So this week's festivals, there are no no festivals on the Vaishnava calendar. We're continuing with the month of Purushottams, so keep offering ghee lamps to the deities, and keep following all the prescribed rules and regulations of Purushottam. I think next Sunday is Ekadasi, and so next Sunday, if anybody would like to do some more kirtan, please contact Ramesh Prabhu, and he will get you signed up with all the kirtan stuff. And I think we're doing 6 hours this week, so this time, so just for Purushottam Mas. So the next Shravanam Saturday program will be given by His Grace Ramesh Prabhu and His Grace Ujjwal Natai Prabhu. They'll be giving a class together. Next week Sunday speaker is His Grace Ramtirtha Prabhu. Hari Bol. And thank you all for all the wonderful services that you do. We know a lot of services are going unheard of, but we really appreciate of all the services. And please let us know if there's any way we can serve you even better. Are there any other announcements in the Vaishnava Sangha?
No, Hari. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a great Krishna conscious week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripasindubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
जय
Thank you for all your
Hare
participation.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. We'll see you again next program.
थैंक यू प्रभु हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.